Children are a centerpiece of a Chinese family. Healthy food is on the list of worries that Chinese parents have. Nowadays, parents all over China may have one more thing to worry about: pre-made food. What is pre-made food? Pre-made dishes are pre-packaged meals that are processed and cooked in advance, and in order to make them last longer and stay fresher, additives are usually added. To help visualize it, you can compare it to something like instant noodles. Over the last couple of decades, China doesn't seem to have much of a food shortage problem. Average Chinese families value fresh food, so the market for pre-made food has been minimal for a long time. However, at the beginning of this year, there was a turning point. In February 2023, the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, issued a document known as the #1 Central Document. It states it'll improve the level of standardization and normalization of clean vegetables, central kitchens, and other industries, and cultivate and develop the pre-made food industry. This is the first time that pre-made food is included in the #1 Central Document since its introduction. Because of this document, pre-made food is quickly becoming favored by investors. According to data from II Media Consulting, it's expected to maintain a high growth rate in the future, and the market size of China's pre-made food is expected to reach 1.072 trillion yuan in 2026. The state news agency Xinhua wrote excitedly that a $1 trillion emerging market was about to be born. But parents in China soon witnessed a horrifying scene. Recently, a number of parents who have children attend secondary and elementary schools in Jiangxi province posted videos claiming that due to the late delivery of meals from the local centralized kitchen and the lack of service staff, the first day of school saw hundreds of children who didn't eat their lunch by 3 p.m., and some of the children suffered from diarrhea after eating the food. Let's look at the feedback from the students. Look, how is this edible? I just had a bite. It's still full, they can't eat it. It looks like everyone feels the same. The fact that most people didn't finish their meals already says something. A parents' group chat in a WeChat group has exposed much information. One parent said, "My son ate fast food at school. He had a stomachache during the lunch break and cried for the teacher to call me. When the school teacher called the parents to pick up the child, my kid fell asleep. He had a very serious stomachache." According to the parents of the students concerned, last year the school still had its own cafeteria, and the children used to eat in the school cafeteria at a cost of 12 RMB, or US $1.60. The experience was quite good, on time, and relatively healthy. But this year, for some reason, the school's own cafeteria is closed, and all the students' meals are supplied from a centralized kitchen, and the price has risen to 13 RMB. But there are constant problems. Not only are the students not able to eat on time, but even when they do eat, the food is devoid of nutrition and poorly prepared. It's not worth the price of 13 RMB. In order to protect their children, the parents have taken part in an act that is forbidden by the Chinese authorities, a protest. Banners read, "Boycott fast food box lunches, restore school canteens." Police surrounded protesters. Parents and police are in a standoff. The protest escalated into a physical altercation, and several police officers dragged a man away. Police tried to snatch the banner but were condemned by the crowd. I am a police officer from the Civic Center Police Station. My name is Luo. Everyone, please listen to me for a moment. In recent years, many places in China have introduced a supply model using centralized kitchens, whereby catering companies offer and deliver meals to elementary and middle schools and kindergartens. In general, the central kitchen covers the collective supply of meals in several schools, and some also distribute food materials to primary and secondary schools and kindergartens in the city or the whole region. But concerns about food from central kitchens have also emerged. Parents are worried that standardized school meals contain pre-made dishes, which are detrimental to students' health if consumed over a long period of time. For example, in one school, plastic film was found in student meals recently. How do parents respond? Something big is happening. I thought the September school season would be a hopeful and fresh moment. I thought the first lesson to embrace would be teachers' profound teaching. Instead, it was a lesson from the central kitchen. In the last 2 days, the less than $2 a meal supplied by a certain centralized kitchen drew a lot of complaints from parents and caused a lot of commotion. What happened was that a centralized kitchen was set up. It delivers meals to kindergartens, primary and secondary schools. The meal costs a little less than $2. This outstanding teacher said outright, "The school requires all first graders to eat lunch at school. Other classes have all responded favorably. It would be awkward if someone in my class doesn't eat lunch at school." Simply put, if no one else has a problem, you'll be out of place if you have a problem with it. I'd like to ask you, teacher, what's your definition of embarrassment? What does it mean to be embarrassed? Is it that you can't finish your job if kids don't eat lunch at school or something? Also, I found several pictures of the food supplied by the kitchen. Take a look yourself. Can you eat this kind of food? Can the kids eat it? When I look at it, I can't stomach it. Many of us parents work hard and save money so that we can raise our children well. Now is the critical time when kids are growing their bodies. Who can imagine that they eat worse than their parents in their workplaces? In the face of this matter, what kind of opinions do you think we as parents will have? According to the standards issued by the China Culinary Association, pre-made food is using one or more kinds of agricultural products as the main raw materials, applying standardized assembly line operation through pre-processing or pre-cooking, making and pre-packaging the cooked or semi-cooked food. It's reported that the shelf life of pre-made food is as long as 1 year. Here are what food service operators have to say about pre-made food in schools. Pre-made food is finally making its way to schools after all. It's a big deal for us pre-made food businesses. I have been doing it for 7 or 8 years now. The whole network of pre-made food businesses is keeping silent, quietly watching what's going on. So, for me, first, let me make my point clear. I am strongly opposed to introducing pre-made food into schools. It's practically crippling the next generation. From what I know about pre-made food, it's definitely not suitable for any group of people to eat in the long run. First, the original purpose of making pre-made food is not for children, but mainly for hotels and rural banquets. It serves 3 main purposes. First, it's to save labor costs. Second, to standardize the dishes and have them avoid an arbitrary personal preference. Third, it's to leverage the centralized procurement of raw materials to lower the food cost. But naturally, there exist many problems. In order to have a longer shelf life, even if the products take the cold storage system, preservatives will be added as it's permissible by the state. Adding preservatives is like giving the product an insurance policy. To make the food more appealing, we will also add various colors, flavors, spices, flavor enhancers, water retention agents, etc. Let me put it this way, there is only what you can't think of. There is nothing that we won't do. In China, the catering industry has been surrounded by the scandal of technology and vicious practices, referring to additives and the like. Even though it's permissible by the state, it's a completely different matter if it's the right thing to do and to what degree. As it can be seen, it's not something one would feed one's kids. So, what are the harms of pre-made food?
还有为了出品的速度，
Also, in order to ensure speed, the pre-made food is basically processed and cooked ahead of time, so that it can be served by simply steaming or heating it up. It's inevitable that such food would lose a lot of taste, color, nutrition, etc. But how pre-cooked food affects human health, there is no authoritative data on it yet. Some experts say that overnight leftovers cause cancer. Personally, I think pre-made food is worse than that. The difference is a quantitative process to a qualitative change. At least, my family and I, especially my kids, won't be eating pre-made food. I also believe that many of the owners who make pre-made food won't eat their own products on a regular basis for the same reason. Businesses and capital are both profit-seeking. When making profits, human beings tend to have their humanity eroded. It has been tough for parents lately. I have heard many of them say that if schools enforced pre-made food, they would quit their jobs and start delivering food to their kids at school. But how many parents can afford to do that every day? It seems that what this boss said isn't wrong. Businesses and capital are both profit-seeking. Take a look at the scene at the opening of a centralized kitchen.
Let's all wish the kitchen a blessed opening and prosperity in the future. Leaders and guests, please stay and let us take a group photo. Give thumbs up and look forward to the fortune together. Friends, your applause is the best congrats. Thank you. You have worked hard. Leaders and guests, next.
Yes, you heard it right. The meals children consume are made by companies like this whose priority is making money. Similar incidents are seen all over China. Parents are resisting it. This school canteen is said to be unhygienic with rat droppings. Parents have been lining up to deliver food to their kids at school. Parents are seen carrying packages of various sizes. Parents cook food and deliver it to school themselves. Their children stand outside the school to eat. Parents are seen climbing over the walls to drop off meals. On September 7, 2023, a story was circulating online that a school kicked students out of the classroom who didn't order food from the school. They had to eat in the rain, and parents were banned from delivering food. Students who didn't order food from the school couldn't take their lunch break in the classrooms. The video shows that 7 or 8 students in school uniforms stood on the campus together while eating lunch. There were both boys and girls, and one of them held a black umbrella. A slew of students were walking through the school grounds.
How much does the school charge? Come on, please let me know, teacher. There's no official notice. When us parents bring food to school for our kids, the school just kicked them out. Those who didn't order food from the school can't take the lunch break in the classroom.
As to why students who didn't book meals at the school were kicked out of the classrooms, it's probably due to the collusion between the school and the centralized kitchen. On this point, how can Chinese people who have endured so many sufferings not get it? On the website 163.com, an article analyzes the incident this way. School meal service is different from the model of large-scale restaurant chains. Theoretically, it's supposed to be convenient for the government to oversee. However, it has another characteristic. That is, it's almost a complete monopoly. A city of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of people's meals is monopolized by a single business. The profits from this can be imagined. It used to have no barriers before. Due to the special nature of the school meals, a barrier is now artificially created. Whether this barrier can be crossed depends mainly on who holds the power and the approval of the administrative body. Under such circumstances, power, or whoever holds the power, becomes the standard, replacing the original standard of food quality. In this case, whoever has the power and whoever obtains the approval from the decider decides who makes the profit instead of food quality and other catering standards. This becomes the most crucial aspect of making money. Nothing else matters. As long as the food supply doesn't cause any loss of life, no matter how unhappy parents and students are, the power can suppress their objections through the schools. The article ends with this conclusion. The article is correct that pre-made food has become a nightmare for an increasing number of parents. On September 7th, a state-owned enterprise in Zhejiang province that monopolizes food distribution to schools of an entire county delivered spoiled food which led to the hospitalization of a number of students, triggering protests by parents in front of the schools. Parents accused that students were fed things that even pigs and dogs wouldn't eat, and that the Black Hand had reached the school. Here is a mass protest. Banners read, "No evil food distribution. Safeguard the health of our children." Chinese netizens are overwhelmingly opposed to bringing pre-made food into schools. For example, this article on NetEase concerning the subject has nearly 20,000 views. It had more than 350 comments, 99% of which were against the idea of pre-made food. Some people wrote, "They even harm children. There is no conscience." Someone recalled, "When I was in elementary school, I was told I shouldn't eat overnight leftovers because they are full of bacteria and might even be poisonous. Now kids are made to eat food that was pre-made a year ago." One person commented, "It's so detestable. Pre-made food, genetically modified food, and additives are all harmful to the health of the Chinese people. Don't eat them." Someone else wrote, "It's the children of other peoples. They don't care." The term "they" used in Chinese refers to non-humans, or usually referring to animals. One individual said, "I strongly support pre-made food, but first, please make it available in the canteens of government organizations at all levels, including those of the central government." So what else can parents do? The article on the website 163.com concludes, "How to break this chain of interest between government and business?" Until now, there is no set of proven solutions within the system. Just counting on the professional ethics of those in power and the systematic internal supervision won't work. It doesn't get to the root of the problem. It can't eliminate the possibility of collusion in the chain of supplying pre-made food to schools.